Hi there guys, I'm doing a fan requested video. Someone asked me to do this a while ago and I'm sorry I can't remember who it was. So whoever asked me, I'm doing this for you. And obviously for everyone else. And it is Soundwave, obviously by the title. Now my Soundwave is not the original and it's not the classics Soundwave. Mine is the Takara Soundwave, which I much prefer anyway. So instead, the difference between this one and the classics is the disc tray only holds one cassette in. So it's more like the Generation 1 figure than the classics one. I'll just talk about why this one, in my opinion, is a lot better than the classics, and then I'll move on to the figure itself. I personally like the Takara wave of these figures, the collection, because they used the not IDW, the Dreamwave artwork, which I personally love. They had a really nice back to them. We open it up, and we also had like little cards which were really cool. So yeah, oops, there it goes. You had like front cover, some episodes listing and what happened in them. I haven't looked at this for ages. Oh, you got a catalogue as well, which was really, really nice. And another very cool, sorry if you can't see this too well, another cool poster kind of thing in there. What else? Yeah, you got some tech spec things as well. For Lazerbeak, who came with this figure, who I'll also review today. And then you got this nice see-through bit where the figure was stored, and the figure was housed in this bit, which, you know, combine it with the box, is a very nice little display piece. You can open them up without having to take them out of the box properly. So, we'll do Lazerbeak first because he's small. I don't know if the classics ones came with this little cassette box, but it is a nice little thing to have. If you're not storing them in Soundwave or whatever. I'm going to transform Lazerbeak because anyone that has Lazerbeak knows he's easy to transform, and you know, it doesn't take a genius to work out how to transform him, even though I use the instructions. I always use the instructions now, of fear of breaking my figures, so you know, don't blame me, I'm not stupid, I just don't want them to break. A nice little thing about Lazerbeak is this red bit is die-cast metal, the rest of him is all plastic. No movement to Lazerbeak, well, apart from the arms, and the head moves on as well as his neck. So you get a little bit of movement, but not a lot. But for the size, you can't really do a lot with a little cassette. And they made this, personally I think, the best cassette. I haven't got Rumble of Frenzy, but they look pretty good, but Lazerbeak is the best proportioned out of them. I'll show you Ravage because I'm also doing another figure as well. You'll see why in a bit. But Lazerbeak is the best proportioned and looks the most show accurate out of all of them. And he's got very nice colours. Only problem is when you look at his underside, you know, you can see the tape part. And when he's transformed him in his tape mode, and you look at him that way, you can see the red and these parts here, which is a bit of a downer, but you know. So on to Soundwave himself. Even though it is a Japanese reissue, it still has the English stereo micro cassette recorder and stop and record, the recorder and the battery light as well, which is quite nice. None of the buttons work apart from the top one there, which, you know, just opens his cassette tray. Close. On the side he has a volume control, and I assume that's a hold button, but I'm not really sure. Another nice little feature about Soundwave that they included was, this was obviously the bit where you hang him on your belt, but it's also his battery case, and his batteries are in fact his weaponry, which is, you know, it's not like, trying to think, like Prime, his guns, when he's in truck mode, they have no use, they're pointless, they're just kibble. I think that's the term used for it. While Soundwave transforms into his I'll show you the right way, his gun, and his classic shoulder cannon. So you know, it's a nicely thought out thing. Again, I'm going to quickly transform Soundwave, because he's not too hard to transform. And I love Soundwave. By the way, I love him. As long as I don't break him. If I break him now, you'll see a grown man cry. You'll see a man in his 20s cry. And I don't think anyone on YouTube wants to see that. I suppose I could put it under comedy and see if I can get more subscribers, but you know, personally, not one of the things I want to do. Not today. Plop that in there. Yes, 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 you have big arms, stop showing off. And stick your little gun in there. And there's Soundwave. One of the most recognisable characters for fans of the show and for people who don't know what the hell a Transformer is. They go, oh, that's that thing that turns from a cassette to a robot, isn't it? And it's like, yeah, well done, mate. How much TV do you watch? Have you lived in, like, I don't know, the Amazon for the last 25 years? Anyway, Soundwave, very nice figure. The head mould, very good, I think, personally. Not completely show accurate, but, you know, for these type of figures, it's more show accurate than a lot of them. Positive and a negative thing. Well, I'll talk about the positive. He can move his leg forward, and it can twist, but because the knee joint is obviously facing this way, you can't position him. And I've heard that a lot of the original figures suffer from, if these joints are loose, Soundwave likes to look at the ground in shame, and if you have him at the front there, he'd look down like that if his joints are weak. And obviously, if you have him at the front of a shelf, he goes, ah, and commits suicide. Mine is luckily nice and fine, he's good. I can't remember who told me that. I'm sure I heard that on, that might have been Silverbolt's video. He said he commits suicide a lot, but you know, fair enough. Everyone has their kicks. He also has movement, so he can turn his arms all the way around, and he can bend at the elbow, and he can twist his head, which most G1 figures can't do. So you know, nice little feature. Don't fall over. How embarrassing would that be? Mine just toppling over now. Though a very nice gun, there is a problem with it, and this may be because I'm old and have bigger hands. But you see that tiny, tiny little lump there? That is the trigger bit. You need, for me, I need to use a nail and push that down quite hard for it to shoot out. Otherwise, it's just not going to happen. Can I talk about Soundwave anymore apart from him being awesome? Soundwave, unlike Blaster, had what I would call an army of cassettes. Blaster has his crew. You know, Soundwave has an army. He has Lazerbeak, he has Buzzsaw, he has Ravage, he has Rumble and Frenzy. You know, I'll let you debate about which one's which, because I can't be bothered. He had Slugfest, he had Overkill, he had, oh Christ, what were they called? Squawk Talk, he had Beastbox. I think he had more than that. I'm sure he had some Japanese cassettes as well, exclusive Japanese cassettes. I know that they were made and they were like dinosaurs that transformed and combined as well, like Beastbox and Squawk Talk, but they weren't very good. Well, they don't look very good. If you go on, what's it called? CobraIslandToys.com and search under subgroups and then cassettes, you'll probably be able to find them there. So I'm going to pack away Soundwave and move on to our, well, it's not really a special feature, but it's kind of an add-on extra. So I'll see you in a bit.